Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome back to Cricket Happenings. And on this Cricket Happenings show, there are three matches. So, as you know, again, since there are three matches, I can't go into any minute details of the match. But let me tell you that it was all about victories today on this day in Cricket Happenings. And it was the first one was a sensational victory. South Africa were given a target of I reckon it was 351 runs to win the match, and they were bowled out they were bowled out for just 73 runs. Now that was something which was a sort of a really and as I said, those writing was always on the wall, but it was Dilrowan Pereira who priced out six South African wickets by showing a lot of control over his bowling, beating the South African batsman in the air, and also with extracting nice turn and bounce. And South Africa were bowled out for 73, thus leading to a massive win by Sri Lanka by 278 runs to go one zip in this test series. And and so this was something that South Africa probably would have thought that they could have put up a very much better display than that, as there was a sort of a the problem for South Africa happened to be that they were not really sure whether to go forward or to block the ball, and then that resulted in a spate of wickets being falling. And as I said, Sri Lanka won by a massive margin of 278 runs, and very creditable, especially considering the fact that Dinesh Chandimal is not there, Chandika Hathurusinghe, the coach, is not there to man the affairs, and still Sri Lanka have come up trumps in a great manner. So congratulations to Sri Lanka. And as far as the second test between Bangladesh and West Indies was concerned, once again it was a similar story for Bangladesh, as West Indies registered a crushing victory over Bangladesh by 166 runs to take the series 2-0, and the West Indian captain Jason Holder once again take a bow. He was the player of the match and the player of the series, and why not, as this was his fourth 5-wicket haul, and it was tremendous bowling from Jason Holder. Now, so West Indies have already won the Test series 2-0, and as far as the second ODI was concerned, the other day we saw India beating England. It's a 3-match ODI series, and England, it was a must-win match for them, and they did win the match by raising a big total of 322 for 7, with Joe Root was the one who took it, who played the Indian spinners very well by making 113 runs, and India were bowled out for 236, thus England winning the match by 86 runs, and it's 1-1 in the 3-match series, with the final one coming up probably next week. Well, dear fans, so now I'm going to get on with the match between South Africa and Sri Lanka. So the South Africa-Sri Lanka match, it all started off with Sri Lanka, who were 111 for 4 overnight, starting their innings. But one has to say that it was good bowling, especially from Kagiso Rabada, extracting nice bounce, and he did a fine job to actually restrict with a span of 89, I think 79 runs. They lost all the other 6 wickets, and it was more about Kagiso Rabada knocking them off, with Angelo Matthews making Karunaratne was out on his overnight score of 60 I think he was 92 for 4, so he was already there. So it was Roshan Silva and Angelo Matthews in the middle. Angelo Matthews contributed 35 with 1 4 and 1 6, being bowled by Maharaj. Roshan Silva was run out for 13 with 2 boundaries. Dikwala failed. I was out for just 9 runs with 1 boundary. Dilrowan Pereira for 2. And then, but Lakmal, hit it out towards the end to make sure that the South Africans were chasing a very big target as he contributed an unbeaten 33 with 5 boundaries. Herat not, Sandakan 6, and Dale Steyn also got to the record of Sean Pollock. So basically, he has equaled the record of Sean Pollock as the highest wicket taker. He's a joint highest wicket taker with Sean Pollock in Test matches, and that would have been a very great feeling for Steyn after quite a long time. So 190 all out, thus setting the South Africans a target of 351 runs for victory on a very, very tough turning pitch. Rabada, 3 for 44, did a good job, but Keshav Maharaj picked up one more wicket today, so add up to that 3. So he finished up with 20 overs, 5 maiden, 58 runs and 4 wickets. Dale Steyn, 11.4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 35, took the final wicket of Sandakan. Shamsi, 1 for 37, Philander, none for 10. Now South Africa was given a target of 352 runs for victory, and the problem for South Africa happened to be that they could not read Dilruwan Pereira in the air, and they were pretty much very unsure of their stroke making. I mean, they were not really sure as to whether to come forward and meet the ball on the full, or it's better to just go on their back foot and negotiate it. And in the process, a spate of wickets fell, and Dilruwan Pereira was the man who did the most of the damage as he finished with his career best figures of 6 for 59. A tremendous job by Dilruwan Pereira on 6 for 32, in fact, 14 overs, 4 maidens. So it was all about the spinners. So there was each and every wicket went to the spinner. Rangana had 14 overs, 4 maidens, 38 runs and 3 wickets, and Sandakan just bowled 5 balls, 1 for 1. And the toughest part for Sri Lanka, for South Africa, was that there was absolutely no resistance as they were bowled out for just 73 runs with 6 wickets to Dilruwan Pereira. If you look at that, Andrew Markram left his wicket against Herat. He was stumped for 19. Dean Elgar also stumped by Dikwala, this time of the bowling of Dilruwan Pereira for 4. And then Amla was out for a duck to the bowling of Pereira. Bavuma was a victim of Pereira for just 2 runs. Du Plessis was a victim of Herat for 1. Quinton de Kock was LBW bowled Pereira for 10. And it was only Vernon Philander who stuck it out for quite some time. But again, it was very difficult to stay at the crease with the Sri Lankan spinners, especially Dilruwan Pereira, absolutely scything through the South African batting order. Maharaj was out for 9, Rabada duck, Steyn 2, Shamsi 2, and Philander was not out on 22 with 2 sixes. So 73 all out meant a huge win for South Africa, and what a way for Sri Lanka to start their home series with a very, very big victory, and that was by a huge margin of 278 runs. So looking at the way things have gone, it looked like it is definitely, one is thinking about the the Sri Lanka Australia series, where Sri Lanka totally dominated, and Dimuth Karunaratne, for his splendid knock, was named man of the match. And one has to say it's a 2-match series, so definitely South Africa will get one more opportunity, and that is the one that they would be aiming for now. So that is as far as South Africa and Sri Lanka were concerned, and the matches got over pretty quickly. In fact, it did not go the distance. I think, if I'm not wrong, it was the first was 12 to 14. So in 3 days flat, game is all over. So now from the second from this particular test match, the second test match, and Dimuth Karunaratne, as I said, was man of the match. And now let's look at the second test between Bangladesh and West Indies. Now here, between Bangladesh and the West Indies, what was important was to see what was important was to see as to how much West Indies. One was probably thinking that West Indies will probably put some pressure on them by putting up a big total on the board in the second innings, but it was not to be. In fact, it was Shakib Al Hasan with his spin really accounting for all the West Indian wickets, as he picked up his best best bowling analysis of 6 wickets, and also it happened to be his 18th 5-wicket haul in Test matches. And we all know what a wonderful bowler Shakib Al Hasan is, and what a wonderful all-rounder he is. So he did his job perfectly. He was supported by Mehdi and Miraj, so it was. But Abu Jayed, the pace bowler, was also impressive. He took the wicket of Solomon Hetmir. And today it was all shy. Hope was out for 4, Hetmir for 18. Roston Chase contributed 32, 2 fours, 1 6. Shane Dowrich was not out on 12 with 1 boundary. Jason Holder fell to the bowling of Mehdi Hasan Miraj. So I thought the Bangladeshis had done a the spinners had done a good job, especially Shakib Al Hasan, who then cleaned up the tail by clean bowling Cummins and Gabriel for 1 and 0 respectively. And I thought the Bangladesh had done a very good job in bowling out the West Indians for 129. And look at the bowling figures. Shakib Al Hasan, 17 overs, 5 maidens, 33 runs on 6 wickets. Tremendous bowling from Shakib Al Hasan. Tajul Islam 1 for 24, 2 for 45 for Mehdi Hasan Miraj. Now the target before Bangladesh was 335 runs, and definitely the start was not good, as Holder picked up the wicket of Tamim Iqbal pretty quickly. So he was gone for naught. And once again for Bangladesh, what we have seen in this series, that the nemesis, yes, we know that Kemar Roche went away, Gabriel took 5 wickets, but also Jason Holder, the captain, has been doing a great job, and this was his 4th 5-wicket haul, which actually enabled the West Indians to actually win the match on this day itself, as they were bowled out for 168, with Jason Holder, who was named the player of the match and the player of the series, returning figures of 13 overs, 3 maidens, 59 runs and 6 wickets. And Jason Holder has only gone from strength to strength in this particular series. Probably has found a new way to bowl, Jason Holder. Gabriel 1 for 29, 1 for 34 Kemo Paul, and 2 wickets for Roston Chase. So if you look at the card there, the Bangladesh, Tamim Iqbal was out for a duck. Litan Das, he cracked 4 consecutive boundaries at the bowling of Kemo Paul, but Paul had the better of him, getting him out for 33 with 6 boundaries. Mominul Haq, I have to say that this has been a dismal series for him. He has really failed with the bat. He got just 15 runs with 3 boundaries. Shakib Al Hasan was the highest scorer. He tried his bit to stay at the crease, but there was no support forthcoming for him. So Shakib Al Hasan was bowled by Holder for 54 with 10 boundaries. Mahmudullah was out for just 4 runs to the bowling of Chase. Mushfiqur Rahim contributed 31, 6 boundaries. Other than that, there was nothing to really talk about. Nurul Hasan was out for naught. Mehdi Hasan 10. Tajul Islam not out 13. Islam Rabi duck. Abu Jayed duck. 168 all out. And thus the West Indians definitely winning the second test by 166 runs. And so as I said, 2 massive victories for the West Indies. So Bangladesh totally outplayed in all the departments of the game by the West Indies. And this was not something that one would have expected from a Bangladesh team, which boasts of some big names like Shakib, Mahmudullah, Mushfiqur Rahim, Tamim Iqbal, and definitely they did not give a good example of playing cricket, Bangladesh. And I can just say that congratulations to the West Indies for winning the series, and congratulations to Jason Holder, the captain, for a wonderful individual performance in this series. Now that is as far as that match is concerned. Now let's look at the last one, which is the second ODI, India versus England. And England were the ones who batted first. They once again started off well. Jason Roy, and one has to say, like last time, how India actually got the luck of the or the rub of the green. The same thing happened here with England, as England were the ones who won the toss, and they had no hesitation in batting first here in London. And Jason Raw and Jonathan Bairstow definitely did their job. They were stroking the ball very well, and similar to what they did in the first match, they were going very well. But then the man who has been haunting the England team came in and priced both Jonathan Bairstow and Jason Roy. Jonathan Bairstow was beaten by a googly. He was bowled by Kuldeep Yadav for 38 of 31 deliveries, 5 fours, 1 6. Jason Roy was the next victim, out for Caught Yadav bowled Kuldeep Yadav for 40 of 42 balls, 4 fours, 1 6. But the man who really stood it out and stood there, and as I always have said, that Joe Root is someone who is the stabilizer, and that's what he precisely did. And today he negotiated the spinners very well, and he was run out by Dhoni, but not before definitely hurting India with a knock of 113 of 116 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. Morgan combined into a good partnership after the openers were dismissed with a score on 86 for 2. They put on a 103-run partnership, Joe Root and Morgan. Morgan making 53 of 51, 4 fours and 1 6. Stokes once again struggled. He was out for just 5 for 8 balls. Butler was dismissed cheaply by Yadav for 4, and Moeen Ali left to Chahal. And it was only David Willey who really pumped up the England total to 322 for 7 with this big hitting, as he remained not out on 50 of 31 deliveries, 5 fours and 1 6. On the last 10 overs, they reeled off 94 runs, and 322 for 7 was good total on this particular pitch. Umesh Yadav, 10 overs, 1 for 63. Siddharth Kaul once again pasted, 8 overs, none for 59. Hardik Pandya, 10 overs, 1 for 70. Chahal, 10 overs, 1 for 43. Kuldeep Yadav also went for runs today, 10 overs, 68 runs and 3 wickets. Suresh Raina, 2 overs, none for 8. As far as India were concerned, they were given a target of 323 runs to win from their 50 overs, and they lost Rohit Sharma pretty early in the piece, as Rohit Sharma tried to whack Wood and instead lost his stumps. He was gone for 15 of 26, 2 fours. Dhawan making 36 of 30 balls, 6 fours. His wicket was taken by David Willey. Kohli and then KL Rahul was taken brilliantly by Butler behind the stumps of the bowling of Plunkett for a duck, and that left India in a very tough situation at 60 for 3. And then it was Virat Kohli and Suresh Raina who revived the Indian innings with a very good partnership with both the batsmen. In fact, it was an 80-run partnership with Kohli scoring 45, 56 balls, 2 fours before Moeen Ali had him LBW. Suresh Raina was clean bowled by Rashid for 46 of 63 balls, and there was a time when the England team spinners were actually dishing out the same fare that they got from the Indians, as they started throttling the Indian batting order by clogging the runs. Suresh Raina was out for 46, and then it was left to with the run rate increasing, and with the score on 154 for 5. There was still a long way to go with 19 overs still left, but Pandya and Dhoni combined, and they tried their bet. They tried their bit, and Pandya was out for 21 of 22 balls, Plunkett taking his wicket, but Dhoni was still there and hope was there, but Dhoni one felt that he was a bit slow, because if you look at his innings, it was probably he was still trying to see whether if he could get some support, which was not forthcoming, and Dhoni was out for 37 of 59 deliveries, 2 fours, which normally is not the case as far as Dhoni is concerned. But probably he was waiting for seeing whether he could. He was out in the 47th over, trying to force the pace. Umesh Yadav was out for duck. Kuldeep Yadav was not out on 8. Call LBW Plunkett 1, Chahal out to 12, and 236 all out. The Indians with England winning the match by 86 runs and keeping the ODI series alive with the score line now 1-1 with the final one to come, which should be a real beauty. Mark Wood 5 1 for 31, 2 for 48 for Willie. Plunkett 4 for 46 was the most successful. 5 overs for 29 for Stokes. Moeen Ali 1 for 42. And the spinners also, I thought, did a very good job. 10 overs 2 for 38. They clocked the runs for the Indians, and Joe Root got the man of the match award. But at least the series is now alive and kicking with England winning this with the scores on 1-1. And as I said, the final ODI which is coming up, which would be coming up, should be a real beauty. Well, dear fans and subscribers, as I said, 3 matches. Can't go into any of the minute details. I'll definitely be, tweeting, no doubt about it. Keep an eye on Twitter as well. Thanks for your company as always, and it's good night from here. Thank you.